Oh, tantrums. They can be so overwhelming and so confusing to navigate. I mean, what do you do? What do you say during these emotional storms? Well, I'm going to get into that in today's episode. But first, I want to just say, if you like lists like these, if you like, what to do and what to say in like short lists format, easy to skim, then you're going to love my Positive Parenting Bundle. It is free and it's packed with 15 checklists on what to do, what to say during the most difficult parenting moments, like tantrums, like aggression, and not listening. So be sure to check out my free Positive Parenting Checklist Bundle. The link will be in the description if you are watching on YouTube, and if you're on the podcast, the link will be in the show notes. But without further ado, let's get into this list. I'm gonna break down to you my top things to say during tantrums, the things that I say to my kids all the time, my fallback phrases, okay? Because it can be so overwhelming when our child is having a tantrum and our mind can kind of go blank, like, oh, what do we say? What do we do? Well, fear not, I'm going to get into that. But before I do, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Jasmine. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and I also have two little girls who are 2 and 3. And so, yeah, we know all about tantrums around here. So let's get into the number one thing that I love to say to my little ones, because it not only allows me to be present for their feelings and validate their feelings and encourage them to keep expressing it, but it tells my brain, because my brain loves to tell me that I need to shut this down, I need to fix it. Well, this helps me remind myself, nope, I don't need to do any of that, and I can just let it be. And what I say to my kids all the time is, let it out. Let it out, baby. Just let it out. And it is the best. It is the best. Again, it's more for me just to let myself know, girl, you got this. Just tell them to let it out. They need to express their feelings. This is healthy. And that I can allow this process and all will be well, right? The second thing that I love to say is, validate their feelings. So I'll say something like, oh my God, this is so disappointing. Like, you wanted XYZ, or you wanted to do XYZ, or oh my gosh, you wish she would share that with you and it's so disappointing, right? Now, do you notice how I say it? I don't say, that must have made you feel sad, little one, right? You look angry, right? It's not like that. It's more about how we say it to convey our empathy, convey that we get it. Because if we sound robotic, if we sound forced, if we sound like we're just trying to get through the motions to get them to be quiet, they're going to sense that and they're going to be like, stop saying that, right? Has your child ever told that to you? Like, stop doing that. Stop saying that. Or they get even angrier when you're trying to validate. It might be because the way that you're saying it is not conveying that true sense of like, oh, I get you, I see you, I'm with you, I'm there, right? I'm in the trenches with you. That's disappointing. So you want to say like, how disappointing? Oh my God. Now, you don't want to overdo it, get too dramatic, but you just kind of want to match their feelings a little bit, maybe a couple tones down, right? If they're super dysregulated and frustrated, but you want to just convey to them and validate that it's disappointing and you get it, right? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're caving into their demands or you're, going back on what you said. It just means that you're letting them know that you're getting it. You get it, okay? And the third thing is to continue to validate, and you can say something like, it's okay to feel frustrated, right? I love to say that to my kids, like, it's okay to be angry. I get angry too. And they look at me and they kind of like, oh, okay, all right, cool. You're not judging me for this? Okay, cool. I'm gonna let you know even more how I feel, right? And that's good. It's a good thing. And it's, again, to program my mind, to remind myself it's okay to have feelings. All feelings are welcome in this house, and all feelings are okay. And I have these feelings too. You have these feelings. We all have these feelings. This is universal. And I think that can be so calming for little ones to realize, and it helps them increase their self-awareness in their emotional process, as well as just feeling really validated, right? And connected with us. Oh, okay, mommy's not threatened. It's okay to feel this way. And I'll never forget, my mom used to tell me this all the time, Jazzy. Like, she would say Jazzy because that's my nickname. She'd say, I love you when you're upset. I love you when you're happy. I love you when you're mad. Like, nothing, no matter how you feel, I love you unconditionally. And that's kind of what we want to convey to our child. They won't forget it. I mean, I'll never forget her saying that. I even remember where we were the times that she said it, because it just meant so much and it stuck out to me, right? So always validate, and you can say, it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel X, Y, Z. Totally cool with me, right? Again, it doesn't mean that we're not establishing limits. It doesn't mean that we're going back on what we said. It just means that we're validating them, and that is what children want at the end of the day, right? They want to be heard, they want to be seen, and they want to feel validated for their feelings. And then the other thing that I love to say is, you know, feelings come and go. This is so grounding, right? Even for us as adults, when we have feelings, it can feel very overwhelming and like daunting and like hopeless. Like, okay, this is just always going to be this way. I'm always going to struggle with this. And it's not true, but it feels true in that moment. And so it can be so anchoring and grounding to say, you know, feelings come and go. This won't be forever, and we'll get through this together. So anchor them in that. And that's like a teaching moment for them, how they can understand their emotional world and realize, oh, okay, 1 minute I'm happy. 1 minute I'm sad. And you know, if you have a toddler or preschooler, they're just, you know, they're all over the place. They're riding the wave, right? And so we would just want to just encourage them, keep riding it, girl. You're gonna feel happy and excited in another minute, I promise you. Just wait for it. And then the other thing is, you know, focus on calming down first before problem solving. So I'll say something like, you know, this is hard right now. I know this is hard. Let's take a break, right? Let's focus on calming down. Let's come back and work through this when we're calm. That's another, you know, 9 times out of 10, these things are said for me to remind myself, right? This is not an emergency. We don't need to solve this right now. We don't need to problem solve. We can't problem solve until we are calm. That's us too as adults, right? We don't want to start problem solving and reacting to things unless they're true emergencies. But first, we want to just encourage our child, you know, let's just take a break, and let's come back a little bit later once we're calm, and we'll work this out. And the other thing that I like to say, to encourage them to communicate. So say your child is just like screaming, and you're like, oh my God, like what is going on, right? You can say something like, you know, it's really hard to understand you when you're screaming. I really want to help you, right? That is a wonderful thing to say. Now I will share, you know, sometimes when they are, it kind of depends on the range of tantrum, right? So if they are super dysregulated, they're not going to be able to stop and be like, okay, I want X, Y, and Z, right? That's probably not going to happen. But if you're on the early side of a tantrum, or they're starting to whine, or, you know, they can, just if they're, you know, on the other side of the spectrum, where their feelings are not as intense, this can be helpful to kind of move you guys along and help them, remind them to express their needs. So again, it's hard to understand you when you're screaming. I really want to help you. Now, sometimes we have to take it a step further, because just telling them, you know, use your words is not going to help. A lot of the times, especially for little ones, I would say 9 times out of 10, they need to be coached on what words to use to express their needs. Now, again, they might not be able to do this, especially if they're in a heightened emotional state. The language centers are not online, and so they're going to need to calm down and then be able to communicate. So you might just need to revert to the other phrases that I shared earlier about just helping them just express their emotions, and then you can kind of problem solve. But, you know, you'll have to kind of read their cues. You could try these out, and then, you know, if they're not there yet, just fall back on the other things. So if you want to help them, and I'm always an advocate of helping them express themselves without just saying like vague things like use their words, because again, when they're having big feelings, it's going to be hard for them to use their words. So you can say something like, you know, I think you're trying to ask me for XYZ. You can say XYZ. So example, I think you're trying to ask sister for the ball. You can say, ball, please. Okay, and then they'll say, ball, please, that kind of thing. And then you want to help them with that conversation. Or I think you're trying to tell mommy that you want a snack. You can say, snack, please. I think you're trying to tell me you want to go outside. Yeah, you want to go outside. You can say, outside, please, right? And you're pointing. And again, if it's something that you can, meet their need with right away, then great. If not, just let them know, oh, I hear you. You want a snack. Mommy's doing the dishes. I'll be right with you. Thank you for your patience. Oh, I know it's frustrating. It's hard to wait sometimes, right? So you're validating, but you're still doing your dishes or whatever you're doing, and then you're just making a note to do it, as soon as you can. The other thing you can tell them is establish boundaries, okay? So it's important, especially if their behavior is dangerous or aggressive or destructive, right? So if they are, messing, destroying toys, breaking things, pushing, hitting, biting, whatever it is, you always want to establish some kind of limit, and the way that you can do that is validating first and then doing the limit. So it's okay to feel angry, but I can't let you hit, right? Or I won't let you hit. I see that you're frustrated. It's okay to feel that way. I would too, right? But we can't use our bodies to hurt. So again, we're saying that we get it, but we're establishing that boundary. And oftentimes it looks like, having our bodies in between. Our bodies are going to, and our actions are going to speak louder, especially during these times of emotional, heightened states. So you have to, make sure that your body and your actions are aligned with what you're saying, because that's what they're gonna be reading it all and taking it all in. So of course, always establish limits during tantrums if the behavior is dangerous, destructive, or aggressive. And the other thing that you can say is, follow their lead. I think this is so important, especially when they're having big emotions. Follow their lead. So you can say something like, I'm here for you. If you need me, it's okay if you need space right now, but I'm here. I'm here for a hug. I'm here for some cuddles if and when you're ready. So we're never like forcing them to hug us or forcing them to sit on our laps or anything like that, but we want to just kind of follow their lead and always just let them know we're right there. So we're never leaving, ideally, unless we need a break. Now, taking a break is way better than yelling and losing it. So always, if you need to, if you are feeling like, okay, I need to take a break, I need to take some space, do that. Let them know where you're going and that you'll be right back. So absolutely fine, but ideally, if you have the emotional capability, you are right there with them, you're in the same room, allowing them to share their feelings with you, and then just following their lead in terms of, if they're ready for physical affection. Now, again, if you guys like lists like this, if you want more guidance on what to do and what to say during really challenging parenting moments, like tantrums, like aggression, like not listening, like what do you do when you feel angry at your child and you're about to lose it? What do you do after you've lost it? What do you do to stop behavior without saying no, don't, stop, quit? Well, all of that is covered in this checklist bundle, and let me just show you, let me just give you an idea of what one looks like. It's very easy to read, easy to skim. You can print them out, put them on your refrigerator or wherever to remind you if that's helpful. So again, the link will be in the description if you are watching on YouTube, or in the show notes if you are listening on podcast. Until then, friends, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.